Hi, my name is Travis Lindsay. I'm here for the Center for Entrepreneurship at Cal State Fullerton. And here I have a special guest with us today, the director for the Center for Entrepreneurship, John Bradley Jackson. And we're going to talk a little bit about an upcoming event that we have called SoCal Celebrates Entrepreneurship. So, JJ, can you do a brief little introduction for the one or two people who may not know you already?
Yeah, thank you, Travis. So yes, I'm called JJ, and that's just fine with me. And I'm full-time professor teaching entrepreneurship at Cal State Fullerton, which a specialization in new venture creation. And so that would be building startups. My legacy is Silicon Valley. During the 80s and 90s, I made a pivot into Wall Street, helping companies go public. And my time at Cal State Fullerton, I describe as my third career, where I teach in the classroom. We have an incubator that helps early stage startups. And I also have a side hustle, which is called Titan Angels, which is a seed investment fund.
Very cool. And part of that thing that you do with your third career at Cal State Fullerton is a new, or not a new event. It's an event that you've been doing for a few years now called SoCal Celebrates Entrepreneurship. Can you give a short little description of what that is and what you hope to accomplish with it?
So it actually goes back about a decade, and there were a handful of directors of centers for entrepreneurship, of which I'm one for Cal State Fullerton. We would get together for lunch and commiserate on what it takes to run a center with a major university. And the outcome of those lunches was, we ought to do something together sometime. There's something more we could do besides a Caesar salad. So the idea came across about 5 years ago that wouldn't it be cool if the group of us gathered under one roof to, in effect, celebrate entrepreneurs. And the handful of us coined it as Orange County Celebrates Entrepreneurs. And about a year later, we had our first event. It was of considerable size and a great success. COVID interrupted our face-to-face engagement, and we pivoted to a Zoom, a video-based event, which was pretty cool in many ways. But we're back in business now, face-to-face, last year and certainly this year. Unique to this gathering is we have expanded the footprint. So the event will be held at Cal State Fullerton on March the 9th, 2024. That's a Saturday. We have a really nice venue with parking. And by the way, on Saturday, there aren't many students around, so it's convenient. This year, our community, the collective of universities and colleges getting together, include UCI and Chapman and Cal Poly and North Orange County Community College District, along with Cal State Long Beach, Dominguez Hills, Los Angeles, Northridge, and new to the equation is San Bernardino. So my takeaway on that is that gathering of those entrepreneurship programs all over Southern California is very special. I don't know of any other grouping of universities like this, private and public, who get together for an event, let alone to celebrate entrepreneurs.
So can you give people a look ahead and what kind of talks, what kind of events, what kind of panel discussions can people expect if they were to attend?
Yeah, so the event is going to be significant. It wouldn't surprise me if we have 600-700 attendees this year. The makeup of the attendees will include students. We love our students and want to help them understand the outside marketplace. But beyond that, it's going to be early stage startups, small businesses, and then the infrastructure that supports them. So that would be banks, investors, law firms, public accounting firms, etc. And the event will go from, I think, registrations at noon. The event's going to start at 1 o'clock and go through 5, 6 o'clock. So we'll have a series of panels. We're going to have a panel, as I'd like to say, a panel that focuses on the startup phase of the business, what it takes to idea generate, come up with a solution, validate it, and then go to market. We're going to also look at the service providers who help startups get going. And it honestly takes a village to build a company from the ground up. And so that's advisors, bankers, investors, the staff, etc. It's a hard road. And then at the back end of that, we're going to look at what it means to grow and thrive within that environment. Additionally, we're going to have a showcase, and we did this last year, and it was quite extraordinary, really. So we had service providers, startups, stakeholders in the community who had demos or tables adjacent to the actual session where the speaking's going on, and people could mingle back and forth. And that was just a ton of fun, truthfully. And there's another element which we're contemplating would be to once again have a fast pitch event built into this. So it's a little bit like a circus in that we're going to have multiple events going on at the same time. And that allows our visitors, regardless of where they are in the community, to choose what's interesting to them.
Very cool. Yeah, so it looks like that this event, I mean, I've been there pretty much since the beginning of it. But it looks like this event, I mean, it's going to be directed to a whole range of entrepreneurs, right? So it's not just very beginning, it's kind of the whole way through the whole process of building a business, correct?
Yeah, I think so. And although we could, focus in on just a vertical or a segment, it's the consensus of these university entrepreneurship programs that what you actually have before us is an ecosystem that supports each other, that thrives only because there are these component parts. And when you look at the US or even North America, you'll see that there are these distinct ecosystems that exist for entrepreneurship, such as, of course, Silicon Valley, here in Orange County, LA, Austin, Texas, as an example, Boston, and a few others. But there's something special that pulls together that ecosystem. And I think one of the legs on the stool, to give you a metaphor, is the university space. Is we are the early ideation source. We help prepare the entrepreneurs for the workplace. And then you add to that the investment capital, whether it's VC or angels, the bankers, the government infrastructure, and then the community of companies that kind of help pull that together. Now, the takeaway is that doesn't happen everywhere, and it is happening here in Southern California, as in addition to those other markets. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. All right, I think that pretty much covers SCCE. Do you have a last question? Do you have any? I guess maybe the better way to phrase this one would be like, what kind of advice do you give to your students who are thinking about starting a business? Do you tell them to just jump right in? What do you tell them?
think first and foremost, it would look for problems to be solved. I think that the business press is fascinated with an entrepreneur's passion, but I think the real opportunity is to find a customer that is overlooked or underserved and not getting what they want. And if you can come up with a solution that provides them value, they will support you and become your marketing engine. When it comes to passion, I love my horse, I love my dog, but the only problem they solve for me is boredom, and it's going to be hard to monetize that. So I think starting with a problem would be my first piece of advice to a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like you're going on a treasure hunt and you think that, okay, if I just walk wherever I want to walk, I'm going to find treasure. That's not the case. You actually have to have that goal in mind, and that goal in mind in this situation is figuring out how to solve a problem for a large enough group of people in order to make a profitable business out of it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I'm an advocate of the methodology called Lean Startup. And so it starts first with the validation that a problem or opportunity actually exists. And with that, you try to confirm, well, who has that problem, or who is the customer for a potential solution? And that's where startup founders stumble. There is overwhelming data that says that early stage entrepreneurs fail because they invent solutions where there is not a customer. And that's avoidable by simply slowing down and doing your homework on the opportunity. And then from that point, you articulate a solution, you build the prototype, which is referred to as a minimum viable product. But even then, you're trying to avoid spending money and wasting time on creating something that there isn't a need for.
100%. So you think when you're talking about that, my mind immediately goes to something like Meta's virtual reality headset, right? It's a cool piece of technology. It's a great solution, but there's just not enough people who have that problem, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good example. And I think in technology in particular, there is a gee whiz type of mindset that we could build this thing and it's really cool. And then the premise is, oh, everybody's going to want it. Stop right there. Let's pull back and discover really what's going on. And you can waste a lot of time and money on products that just are not viable. So that's really the usefulness of taking a lean startup approach.
All right, that's great advice. Thank you very much, JJ, and look forward to seeing you at the SoCal Celebrates Entrepreneurship event, and that's on March 9th, 2024 at the Titan Student Union, right?
Yes, sir. Look forward to seeing you as well.
All right, talk to you later.